behind for No Child Left Behind. And local school districts end up having more of a burden, a bunch of unfunded mandates, the same kind of thing that happened with special education, where we did the right thing by saying every school should provide education to kids with special needs, but we never followed through on the promise of funding, and that left local school districts very cash-strapped. So what I want to do is focus on early childhood education, providing teachers higher salaries in exchange for more support. Senator McCain and I actually agree on two things that he just mentioned. Charter schools. I doubled the number of charter schools in Illinois. Despite some reservations from teachers' unions, I think it is important for us to foster competition inside the public schools. And we also agree on the need for making sure that if we have bad teachers, that they are swiftly, after given an opportunity to prove themselves that they can't hack it, then we need to move on because our kids have to have their best future. Where we disagree is on the idea that we can somehow give our vouchers, give vouchers as a way of curing the problems in our education system. And I also have to disagree on Senator McCain's record when it comes to college accessibility and affordability. I mean, recently, his key economic advisor was asked about why he didn't seem to have some specific programs to help young people go to college. And the response was, well, you know, we can't give money to every interest group that comes along. I don't think America's youth are interest groups. I think they're our future. And this is an example of where we are going to have to prioritize. We can't say we're going to do things and then not explain in concrete terms how we're going to pay for it. And if we're going to do some of the things you mentioned, like lowering loan rates or what have you, somebody's got to pay for it. It's not going to happen on its own.
What about that, Senator?
Well, sure. I'm sure you are aware, Senator Obama, of the program in the Washington, D.C. school system where vouchers are provided, and there's a certain number, I think it's 1,000 and some 9,000 parents asked to be eligible for that because they wanted to have the same choice that you and I and Cindy and your wife have had, and that is because they wanted to choose the school that they thought was best for their children. And we all know the state of the Washington, D.C. school system. That was vouchers. That was vouchers, Senator Obama, and I'm frankly surprised you didn't pay more attention to that example. Now, as far as the No Child Left Behind is concerned, it was a great first beginning in my view. It had its flaws, it had its problems. The first time we had looked at the issue of education in America from a nationwide perspective. And we need to fix a lot of the problems. We need to sit down and reauthorize it. But again, spending more money isn't always the answer. I think the Head Start program is a great program. A lot of people, including me, said, look, it's not doing what it should do. By the third grade, many times children who are in Head Start program aren't any better off than the others. Let's reform it. Let's reform it and fund it. That was, of course, out of bounds by the Democrats. We need to reform these programs. We need to have transparency. We need to have rewards. It's a system that cries out for accountability and transparency and the adequate funding. And I just said to you earlier, town hall meeting after town hall meeting, parents come with kids, children, precious children who have autism. Sarah Palin knows about that better than most. And we'll find, and we'll spend the money of research to find the cause of autism. And we'll care for these young children. And all Americans will open their wallets and their hearts to do so. But to have a situation, as you mentioned in our earlier comments, that the most expensive education in the world is in the United States of America also means that it cries out for reform as well. And I will support those reforms, and I will fund the ones that are reform, but I'm not going to continue to throw money at a problem. And I've got to tell you that vouchers, where they are requested and where they are agreed to, are a good and workable system, and it's been proven.
I'll just make a quick comment about vouchers in D.C. Senator McCain's absolutely right. The D.C. school system is in terrible shape, and it has been for a very long time. We've got a wonderful new superintendent there who's working very hard with the young mayor there to try to
who supports vouchers.
Who actually supports charters.
She supports vouchers also.
But here's the thing, is that even if Senator McCain were to say that vouchers were the way to go, I disagree with him on this because the data doesn't show that it actually solves the problem. The centerpiece of Senator McCain's education policy is to increase the voucher program in D.C. by 2,000 slots. That leaves all of you who live in the other 50 states without an education reform policy from Senator McCain. So if we are going to be serious about this issue, we've got to have a president who is going to tackle it head on, and that's what I intend to do as president.
All right.
Because there's not enough vouchers, therefore we shouldn't do it, even though it's working. I got it.
All right. Gentlemen, we have come to the close. Before I ask both of you for your closing statements tonight, I'd like to invite our viewers and listeners to go to mydebates.org, where you will find this evening's debates and the three that preceded tonight's debate. Now, for the final statements by a coin toss, Senator McCain goes first.
Well, thank you again, Bob, and thanks to Hofstra, and it's great to be with you again. I think we've had a very healthy discussion. My friends, as I said in my opening remarks, these are very difficult times and challenges for America, and they were graphically demonstrated again today. America needs a new direction. We cannot be satisfied with what we've been doing for the last 8 years. I have a record of reform and taking on my party, the other party, the special interests, whether it be on HMO Patients' Bill of Rights or trying to clean up the campaign finance system in this country, or whether it be establishment of a 9/11 commission. I have a long record of it, and I've been a careful steward of your tax dollars. We have to make health care affordable and available. We have to make a quality education there for all of our citizens, not just a privileged few. We have to stop the spending. We have to stop the spending which has mortgaged your children's futures. All of these things and all the promises and commitments that Senator Obama and I made to you tonight will be based on whether you can trust us or not, to be careful stewards of your tax dollar, to make sure America is safe and secure and prosperous, to make sure we reform the institutions of government. That's why I've asked you to not only to examine my record, but my proposals for the future of this country. I've spent my entire life in the service of this nation and putting my country first. There's a long line of McCains that has served our country for a long time in war and in peace. It's been the great honor of my life, and I've been proud to serve, and I hope you'll give me an opportunity to serve again. I'd be honored and humbled.
Senator.
Well, I want to thank Senator McCain and Bob for moderating. I think we all know America's going through tough times right now. The policies of the last 8 years and Washington's unwillingness to tackle the tough problems for decades has left us in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And that's why the biggest risk we could take right now is to adopt the same failed policies and the same failed politics that we've seen over the last 8 years and somehow expect a different result. We need fundamental change in this country, and that's what I'd like to bring. You know, over the last 20 months, you've invited me into your homes, you've shared your stories with me, and you've confirmed once again the fundamental decency and generosity of the American people. And that's why I'm sure that our brighter days are still ahead. But we're going to have to invest in the American people again, in tax cuts for the middle class, in health care for all Americans and college for every young person who wants to go, in businesses that can create the new energy economy of the future, in policies that will lift wages and will grow our middle class. These are the policies I've fought for my entire career. And these are the policies I want to bring to the White House. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. It's going to be requiring all of us, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, to come together and to renew a spirit of sacrifice and service and responsibility. I'm absolutely convinced we can do it. I would ask for your vote, and I promise you that if you give me the extraordinary honor of serving as your president, I will work every single day tirelessly on your behalf and on the behalf of the future of our children. Thank you very much.
Senator Obama, Senator McCain, thank you very much. This concludes the final debate. I'm Bob Schieffer of CBS News, and I will leave you tonight with what my mother always said. Go vote now. It'll make you feel big and strong.